Hey guys, welcome to another great episode of Gen X to Z. My name is Onika McLean. I'm one of your hosts.
Hi guys, my name is Ania. How are you doing?
We're missing Matt McCoy today, but he's on the road because that's what you do when you are in a comedian. So what's up, Ania?
Hi, mommy.
How are you?
Ew, it's us today.
We outside. Let's click our microphones and then click drinks. So what do we have here today? Just a standard mimosa?
Let's drink it first. It's orange juice and vodka.
And vodka?
Skin serious.
So what is this called? Ukraine. Ukraine mimosas.
Okay, so we have for us to be recording. This has been like a couple weeks.
Yeah, we've been out of touch. I don't even understand why, but we've been posting, right, Max?
I think.
Oh, look at Max. He's about to make an excuse. Have we been posting, Max?
I've sent them to Matt. He hasn't. I don't know if he's posted last week's, but
Yeah.
up until that point.
Okay, so we're good. So they're not too far
Okay,
behind.
so hopefully we didn't leave you guys far behind. But first, my birthday passed. Yay!
That's not a national holiday.
It is to me.
Did you turn up?
Yes, I got lit. I had such a great time. Thank you guys for all sending me birthday wishes and thank
Cash
you.
apps and Venmos.
Yeah, no, all of that. I mean, but thank you for sending me birthday wishes.
What did you learn this year that you did not know last year?
What did I learn this year that I did not know last year? I'd say I learned to basically go off actions, not feelings. I feel like, I'm such an understanding person, so I feel like that was kind of what was hindering me, but I feel like now I'm able to like see where things that I went wrong or maybe things that I could have done better. I feel like I probably wouldn't have been able to digest or understand those things at that time, but I'm starting to like understand them now.
You know why? Because you're getting your brain.
Okay, whatever.
You don't even have your full brain yet. So I know you think you're smarter this year, but you're only 24, so you do not have your full brain. Next year, everything's just going to be like, whoosh, it's just going to come together. So this year, you've learned to just look at people's actions and not think about what
And
you
also
expect
look at
from
my
them.
own. And also look at my own, just basically like being a lot more aware, but I feel like I wouldn't have been able to understand it at that time because I don't feel like like you said, my brain wouldn't allow me to at those moments. But I feel like this year, like I'm starting to like just get a lot more smarter, as I'd say, like just socially, internally, and just all assets and facets of my life. So I'm excited about that. I'm just excited to like get older. Before I was like really nervous about getting older because I'm like, I feel like an old lady. Like what the heck? Like 24. I was just 21. But I'm like,
Shit, me too. I was just 21.
yeah, no. So I was just 21 like 3 years ago. But those years went by so fast. So now I just feel like I'm just getting way older. So it's like, I don't know. I'm just happy. So that's all that matters.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's good. So
Yeah,
you've learned to look at stuff. Oh, shout out to Angela Yee's. Shout out to Lip Service. Shout out to Way Up. So we went to Angela Yee's release party for Wrap Up, right? For Way Up. For Way Up. That was dope. So it was at the 4040. Shout out to Jay-Z. We had a good time. What I noticed in that party is that I am a older woman, I think. I thought that I was still a young whippersnapper, but you was getting all the play, and you were getting the play from the people that was my age, and I was not happy about it. Hello, there's still women that's 40-something that's on the vine. You don't have to try to talk to their 24-year-old daughters. I'm not gonna say you names, but whatever. So you was having a good time there, and you don't even like to hang out with your mama.
I don't like to hang out with my mom, only for different reasons. Just because, like, she's my mom. Who wants to hang out with their mom? But I didn't know that my mom.
I'm lit though.
I didn't know that my mom was that lit. So now I'm gonna start hanging out with her a little bit more.
Oh, good. I appreciate it.
More.
I appreciate it, and you don't have to say that I'm your mom. Like, because I feel like introducing you as my daughter was like Xing me out of the equation. Like, they was like, oh, okay, ma'am. Don't call me ma'am when we the same age, sir. Like, it was a lot going on. I don't know if you were feeling it. I don't think you were, because everybody was like on you, but they weren't on me like I'm normally. And I was feeling like, no, I was not
jealous.
I was not jealous. I was just taking it all in. Like I was like, maybe
it's giving jealous.
No, it's giving. Maybe I should get married. Like maybe I need to get married. You know what I'm saying? Because if I was already married, I wouldn't even be thinking about this stuff. I was looking like, where's my men's at?
You wanted any of those people at the party?
None of them. None of them.
They were not giving.
But I still want them to want me. Just because I don't want you does not mean I don't want you to want me. Like that does that make sense?
It's because you wore a blazer.
I had a blazer, but it was fur on it. Like
I know it was fire.
So you can't do a blazer.
I feel like men are like visual.
Men don't like blazers. My titties were out a little bit. Men, okay, so men, you don't like blazers?
Do you guys like blazers? I don't know.
Men, you don't like blazers?
I thought the blazer was nice. It had fur. It was looking cute, but I'm just saying, like, if you wanted that attention, I don't know. To be honest with you, I feel like none of them was worth nothing anyway.
Yeah, I mean, they were. It
was just great to connect, like, make connections and network with people, but other than that.
But I'm happy for Angela. That's dope.
Yeah, me too.
That's dope. Go ahead, girl power, girl boss up.
She got a new show. That's great.
So let me tell you. Okay, so then I was in LA. Which was dope. Shout out to Lynn Burnett, Uptown Magazine. He did honors for comedians. And my friend Erica Pittman invited me one day, went in and out. Shout out to Chris Spencer, who the honorees were Kim Whitley, Guy Torrey, and why am I not thinking? Guy Torrey, Kim Whitley, and Cedric the Entertainer, who murdered his acceptance speech. He did it like a bit, and when I say he killed it, and then he ended on like his rebuttal to the Chris Rock special, which was so dope. It was a good time.
Well, so what was his rebuttal?
He just said at the end of his acceptance speech, he said, "My mother told me if somebody hits you, you pick up something and hit them back." Right. And so Chris Rock's end of his special, he was like, "Because my parents told me not to fight in front of white people." So
I don't think he thought it was going to hit how it hit. Because it didn't hit that much.
It hit for me. I think it hit for my generation. It's just that your generation, everything has to be dissected.
No, like it just wasn't worth a mic drop.
It was worth the mic drop.
Like when he dropped the mic, I was like, I wasn't laughing that hard for you to drop the mic. Like, you know?
So because it wasn't about laughing. It was about, so for me, the ending it that way meant that I'm talking to black people. Everybody else is watching, but I'm talking to black people because black people, that hit for us. It hit for me. Maybe it just hit for my generation and didn't hit for your generation.
But why are you saying generation? I'm just talking about the joke.
So the joke was because have I said that to you?
No.
So that's what I mean. Like growing up, the baby boomers that taught us was like, don't do stuff in front of white people. It was like everything, not in front of company. So black people had to act a certain way in my generation in front of non-black people. You guys don't have that experience. And so that's why I felt like he was just talking to me.
I get that. But you thought it was like super hilarious?
It wasn't hilarious, but it was
drop a mic.
But it was poignant. So that's the other piece of comedy, right? It doesn't have to always be hilarity. It's not always about just making people laugh. It's making people feel all the things. So you get to feel sad and encouraged and inspired and pissed off. All the things, you just invoke feelings, and so that's a part of comedy as well. Okay. And so I feel like he did a good job in doing that. Now other people, I've seen all the stuff on social media talking about it. What I've heard the most is he's not protecting black women. Have you heard that?
They always have something to say, but yeah, continue.
Right. So they were like, he was not protecting black women because he talked about Meghan Markle and he talked about Jada Pinkett but in my thought is those two black women are well protected. I feel like they were like picking at what he was saying, and I don't think that was right because I feel like being that he was
silent for so long,
and he doesn't want to be called a victim in this situation, but actually he was victimized just doing his job. If that was workman comp, he could have sued all of the people if he wanted to, and he did not. So he got the opportunity to say the things that he needed to say, and I felt like that was dope that he did it the way he did it. You know what I'm saying? I was happy that he did it the way he did it. But you know, social media is always going to pick apart everything that you do. It just is what it is.
I don't like when people pick apart comedians because that's the whole point of comedy. You know, it may not be your steez or something that you appreciate or you don't, oh, that's not funny, that I don't think that that's funny, but like it's comedy. If you don't think it's funny, then the joke wasn't for you. Moving
Right.
on next. Or like people that like dark humor. Some people like those type of situations. Some people like those type of like jokes. That doesn't, and that's not like indicative to the person that you're joking to.
With.
They came to go on the stage and make sure people have a good time, regardless if you like a joke or you don't.
Right.
People are so sensitive, and I feel like it's different. I don't think that it's good to be so sensitive as it results to comics, because like I don't know, like it's just, who wants to keep on stepping on eggshells when the whole point of you being a comedian is so that you can, spill your stuff out and have it be laughter for someone else. So
speak truth to power. I feel like that's the job of the comedian, to speak truth to power, and that's the last art form that we're supposed to be able to just say whatever we want to say. And I don't like that they put those kind of like stipulations on comedians, but oftentimes some stuff is just in bad taste, and it just depends on who's receiving it. So everybody's going to have their opinion on it, but I am a huge Chris Rock fan. I did not enjoy Tamarine at all, and I went to see it by myself at the Barclay, just being a student of comedy and knowing the Chris Rock that I knew for so long. I just felt like this special, he was like guns a-blazing. And I love that he had guns a-blazing, because at the end of the day, he should have felt a feeling getting slapped in front of the world. If you got slapped in front of your mother, you'd be like, I can't believe this bitch slapped me. You know what I'm saying? It's just from another man. It just took so much for him to just be able to just take that, and getting it from Will Smith. I just thought that it was, as a comedian, I felt like the timing was a little fast in the front, but I understood. I feel like he was just like ready to go, and I enjoyed it. I watched it 3 times because I watched it with comics and they were all like picking it apart, and then I watched it by myself, and then I watched it again with Jackie, with my cousin, and I was able to just digest what she was laughing at and how he was delivering it, and it was dope. And they changed it,
because I know you watched it live.
I watched it live, and then I watched it again right after, and then I watched it again, and it was still live. But now when I checked it, when he messed up the joke, he messed up the Will Smith joke, he had to fix it in real time, and that was so dope to me. But Netflix cut it out, and then now you have like a pristine set. But I feel like it was so dope that he did it live, and the mess up added to the dopeness of it. I feel like they should have left it, because that's what happens in stand-up comedy. Sometimes you make a mess of it and then you get to fix it, and the way he fixed it was prolific.
When he made a mess of it, it wasn't really like he made a mess. He just said something too quick and then tried to bring the joke back.
Yeah.
So I mean, honestly, I liked the comedy special. I thought it was funny. I mean, I don't think I was like crying tears, no. But I think it was funny, and I think that he needed to get that out, to be honest. That's what
I feel like the next one is going to be even more amazing. And I know.
So yeah, now he could just stop talking about it.
I watched him in the clubs, and he has some stuff, like some hitters, and he didn't do a lot of that stuff that I seen him do. Yeah. So I know that he's probably going to double right back and get another special out of it, and good for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's one of our best comedians. Yeah, he's one of our best comedians. I just gotta say that, and a lot of people don't like it, but I really enjoy political humor, and I really enjoy I'm just sick of this kind of shit. That's really my humor also, and I get my inspiration from Chris Rock.
I didn't really mind him calling Jada the B word repeated like a whole bunch of times, because I feel like you just get frustrated. You just want it to come out and all of those things, and I feel like that's what you're saying. People said, oh, not protecting black women because he's being disrespectful, I guess, quote unquote. But nobody knows what happens behind closed doors. Nobody knows what's really being said. So I guess it's just all his frustration.
So I think that was the frustration with him calling her the B word. I'm not sure if I was like so happy with that, but I was happy that he kind of like said it to Will, because he had to get his lick back. He had to get his lick back. But like, if you go a little deeper, I just feel like with Jada and Will's relationship, like, I just feel like she didn't want him. I feel like when you date people that you don't really want, they are always jumping through hoops in order to impress you. And I feel like that's what their relationship is. That's what my take on it is. And that's kind of messed up, because when you are dealing with people you don't really want, and you make them into this caricature of themselves because they don't know how to just be them. Yeah, they don't know how to be them. And I feel, I'm not going to say that it's Jada's fault. I don't feel like it's Jada's fault. Will is a grown ass man and he did what he did. But at the end of the day, I was watching this video with Will Smith and he said, I've given up. I'm tired of making Jada happy. Jada, go make yourself happy. And then so that I know that it's possible. And that's crazy for a marriage. You know what I'm saying? And it really didn't have anything to do with Chris Rock. It really had a lot to do with him and Jada. And even the Red Table Talk, which is dope. I enjoy it because I'm getting in their business. But at the end of the day, the Red Table Talk is because Jada's bored. That part. They have all the things. And why? You know what I'm saying? But I get it. It just
no, because that was true. When Chris Rock was like, why would you go on social media and, I mean, why would you go on social media and sit your husband down and basically talk about the affair that you had on him? That part. But you mad at me.
Yeah, but that was a lot. Like, so he got that out.
That was a lot.
But that's because of what Will and Jada are going through personally. You know, what they're going through personally. And they cheers at the end of that episode where she interviewed him. And they said, bad marriage for life. Now, what is that about? Like, that's them. If you want to keep that going on in your life, then that's going to be you. I mean, I was in a bad marriage for a long time. And, I had to, cut it, and I had to cut it because I wanted my children to have a better experience. So
that's so crazy because I was with my dad yesterday and he
shout out to that nigga.
So I was with my dad yesterday and he was driving me home and he was like, he asked me, he was like, oh, Ania, do you see yourself getting married? And I was just like, I don't know. And he's like, what do you mean you don't know? And I was like, I just haven't seen a good example.
Oh, God.
And then he just was quiet.
He was quiet?
Yeah.
Because he think about his little marriage.
What you mean?
Shout out to number 2. I don't know. Whatever. Yo, it is what it is. You've never seen a good marriage. You have.
Let's cut that out, guys.
No, we don't have to cut nothing out. It is what it is.
But yeah, like,
have you not seen a good marriage? You have seen a good marriage. You have not your parents. Other people, Kendrick, they have a good marriage.
But I don't know that for sure. That's just what people see. You don't know for sure. So I don't know. And I think that I would want to get married, but like you said, it has to be right. I don't know. Like, I think
that marriage needs to be a dope ass friendship first.
Yeah.
And I feel like the respect and the friendship level has to be on a certain wavelength for you guys to really move. And I also think
I want to feel like I can't breathe without the person.
No,
and nobody makes
that's codependency.
No, but I'm just saying, to that extent, the love goes that far. I'm so cool with disassociating myself, especially within relationships and stuff. The person that I married would have to not make me feel that way or not make me feel like it's an option to leave. You understand?
An option to leave. I think that would be a personal choice,
I guess. But I'm just saying they got to be that person. And I have not met that person.
I feel like people don't wait for chemistry, right? So I feel like people like guys or like girls, and then you're and then you're bored and you're like, oh, this may be cool or whatever, but they don't wait for the electricity. You don't feel like it's gonna come, so you just don't really wait for it. And I feel like that's really the problem in relationships, because not wanting to breathe, I think that that's codependency. I think that it's more so we're working on these things together. I really respect you. I really respect your thought process. I like the way your life is going. I love hanging out with you, and I like how I feel when I'm around you. Not that I can't breathe, but I like how I feel when I'm around you, which is very different than codependency. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like your generation is different as it relates to marriage and relationships. It seems like everything is about the aesthetic in your relationships. Like when I'm looking at social media and I'm looking at young people getting married, it's all about the things, and not really about just the connection. That makes sense?
Yeah. But I don't think I would marry someone if we didn't have a connection that was really strong. But I'm saying I haven't had those experiences with anybody,
but what does a connection feel like to you? Have you had a connect where you felt the electricity between the two people? We're all energy. So there, when I say connection, I mean where you're like, damn, you feel that? Like that.
I wouldn't say it because I don't think I've experienced a healthy one, because I feel like sometimes it'd be like toxic and you like that, but it's like, long term that's not gonna be like, it's like
Sustainable.
Yeah, it's not gonna be sustainable. So no,
but
I don't think I've experienced
energy?
that.
Not the toxicity. I mean the energy where you're like, wow, this is amazing. This is different. I feel like so many people don't even know that that's a thing.
I don't think I've ever experienced that.
Yeah, you gotta wait for that. I don't
think I've ever experienced
when that comes, that's amazing.
But no, I don't think I've experienced that. I'm trying to like make something. Yeah, no, I don't think so. I don't think I've experienced that electric type of love, or like not, or maybe like within friendships and stuff, but within relationships, no. To be honest with you, I feel like it either goes two ways with me. It's either they like me so much and I don't really like them, or I like them and they act like they like me, but they really don't like me. But they like me because of what it look like.
Yeah, aesthetics.
Yeah,
aesthetic.
Or what it look like, or what it feel like, or how I make them feel, or like just in those aspects. But like real talk, if I always say, like, even with like relationship stuff, I always be, and I've had these conversations with you. I feel like they don't like, or they don't know really me. They just know, or they think that they know me, but they really don't. If that makes sense.
But if you don't show them you, then of course they're not gonna know you.
True, but to be honest, I have to be comfortable to show you me.
Right.
Like, for real, people want you to divulge everything, and then don't give nothing back. Right. And I don't operate like that, because if it's gonna be genuine, it's gonna be genuine. It's not gonna be genuine under stipulations and under like tactics and playing games, because that's weak.
Right.
That's corny. That's weak, and that's just not something that I do to other people, so I don't want it to be done to me. Like, that's what I'm saying. In friendships, I have seen the electricity, I've seen the great vibes and the energy, so I can be open with my homegirls and stuff. But when it comes to these dudes, I don't know.
But so you gotta wait, and it's a numbers game. So the other piece is, and a lot of women don't really do this, and a lot of moms will never shall tell their daughter this, but you gotta date more. Yeah. Because that's the other piece. Like, especially as a Black woman, what I've noticed as with myself and just watching how my friends operate, oftentimes, like, we can't be promiscuous. We can't date a lot of people. We have to be like these like homebody-ish 3 boyfriends your whole life, and then you get married kind of women. And I guess that's from church, whatever it is that told Black women. And I've done that to my daughters. And what now I'm saying is, what I'm now I'm saying is, like, you it's a numbers game. Guys have a numbers game. They're always like, let me see. And you got to be on that same time, because what ends up happening is, if you like close yourself off and you limit yourself to who you are exposed to, then you never really meet that electricity, because you just settling for the thing, and life keeps happening. It does not stop. And so what I'm saying to you is just, open it up a little bit more. Don't bust it open for real. I don't mean that. But I mean, you could bust it up if you want to, but it's not about busting it open. It's really about opening your heart to the possibilities of different people. White guys, Black guys, Chinese guys, all the different things. You just got to open yourself up. Older, younger, not younger, because that'll be pedophile-ish. But you know what I'm saying? You just got to open yourself up a little bit more.
Even with older guys too, like, it's different, because I actually like older guys.
How older?
Like a little bit before 30. Like a little bit before 30, like 28, 29. Like,
okay.
In that aspect, I feel like after 30, it's like, I'm not really talking to you.
Because they got 2 kids and 3 baby mamas. But go ahead.
Exactly. That too. But it's also like, I'm not really going to take you serious to like really think I'm going to be with you for real. We're just dating and having a good time. But just because I feel like I'm not mature enough for you, and I feel like you trying to take me serious at that big age is a little bit alarming, and I feel like you're trying to take advantage of me.
Really?
If you're 34 and you're trying to talk to somebody that's 24 that barely has their brain, you're trying to take advantage of me. There's no other way around that.
Right. So you wouldn't date? So 34. What about 54?
But I'm not to take serious. That doesn't make any sense.
But there are a lot of women that date older men and then marry them.
I totally get that. But me personally, I'm looking at you crazy.
Okay.
Like in my mind, if I had a daughter, I wouldn't want her to be dating someone. Or even if I think about meeting my parents would be like, what do you see in Ania?
Right.
Like, I know she's great, but she's a little bit retarded. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she doesn't like, you know, like she doesn't do, like she's not a grown woman for real.
Right.
So what's really going on? So that's in my mind. That's how I view it. But I would still date them and have a great time. But to take serious, that doesn't make sense. But and then also, you sit there, and you talk to your friends, you talk about their situations, and you be like, they all act the same. So it just kind of turns you off.
All men act the same?
Most of the guys in their mindset is just really not. Like, they want you to take them out on dates.
What guys want you to take them out on dates?
I don't know, but they're out there.
They want women to take.
They want women to take them out. They're really like, it's a really different whole ball game, ballpark. Like, it's so different. And it turns me off to the point where it's like, I don't even really want to engage, because it's like, I'm not going to do those things that you expect because somebody else is doing it. I don't know, but that's what it just
It's different. It gives different.
Yeah, it's really different. They're not like our fathers and stuff. They're not like trying to do things for you, trying to be nice to you. And if they are, it's for ulterior motives. It's not just because they want to do that. It's because of how it looks or how it's received or just in those situations.
But you know, you get to change your expectation.
100%. No,
yeah.
literally what it does is what you're saying, like you get to show what you want and what you don't want. All it does is just eliminate the thing faster.
Right.
Because it's like you go in there with expectations like opening the doors and stuff. That's just not a non-negotiable anymore. It doesn't make any sense because I've experienced those things.
So if a guy does not open your door, then what is he saying to you?
I'm just saying little things. Just little things like that.
I know, but what is he saying when he's not opening your door?
Or like opening the door but going in bursts.
Oh, these they chicks.
They chicks. Like,
it's a whole
chicks.
So
that's a whole girl.
You gotta get you a stud. Because let me tell you something about them studs. Them studs are dudes from 1988. Right? When I tell you they don't be playing, they be like, hey, what's up, ma'am? You be like, what's up, ma'am? It's both of us,
I'm
ma'am.
good off that too. But like just in general, like they really act really feminine, and I think it's just weird to me because I act a little masculine.
But you can act feminine.
I can act feminine. I don't need to change the way that I act because I act very feminine on dates and all those things. I make a man feel like he's a man and all that rah. But I'm just saying, just like these little things, I feel like the people that I've been encountering, it's like some of them are great, but then some of them are like not so great.
I think that social media.
Because they was raised by their grandma and their mother.
No, I think that social media is ruining black relationships. I'm not sure about white relationships, but I know that social media is ruining black relationships because the hot topic words are submit, soft life. It's just the dumbest shit, right? And you have all these guys on the internet with these podcasts. I'm coming for y'all. All these guys,
they call them podcast bros.
All these podcast bros talking crap about black women, what they need, what they want, what they should be, what they shouldn't be. It's like Kevin Samuels cronies. And then I see all these black women like, oh, they don't want us. They don't protect us. But this is all coming at record speed times, video after video after video. Your algorithm starts looking at this, and this is what you're getting fed. And you're like, and that's probably not true. Most men, for real, are not on the internet. Damn sure don't have a podcast. And regular dudes, you know what I'm saying? But what's happening is that we're hearing these loudmouth guys that are saying all this stuff, and it's making us not like want to connect. Like if I look at my TikTok, I'm like, I'm good. Some guy tried to talk to me the other night, and he's like, hey, I know you. And I'm like, maybe he knows me. I mean, I'm a comedian. I know a lot of
don't know you.
I know a lot of people. So he's like, wait, give me your information so that we can connect, blah, blah, blah. And then I just looked at him, and I looked at them skinny ass jeans, and the jeans were so skinnier than what Matt's got on right now. Like, they were small. And
Matt
I said,
sweatpants.
Yeah, these aren't even jeans.
But
yeah,
they're
exactly.
tight. They're tight. But they're hugging his nuts. They're hugging his nuts. Trust me. And so,
fight back, because she's going crazy right now.
And I just looked down at his skinny pants, and I said, you will not disturb my peace. And I just stopped. And I'm like, no, because I could tell that it's not like he liked me, I can tell that I was just like a numbers game. And I could tell that he was just like, I was a woman that passed by and he was going to see if he can do something or not. And I was like, no, but I shouldn't even have that mindset. But I'm looking at the TikTok and the YouTube and it is, and all they're saying is black women are not respecting black men and black men are not protecting black women. And that's, for the most part, not true.
I agree. It's not true. It's a lot of, and this is a thing that we need to start understanding, that some of this stuff in media, it gets pushed out in these narratives towards our community to make us not like our community or not want to mess with them.
That part.
So we have to be mindful about all the things that we're seeing and stuff, and just know that there is something bigger that is trying to come for our demise.
Every time.
I would like to encourage you guys to watch Godfather of Harlem so you can get a little aspect of what I'm trying to say without saying.
Oh, you talking about the CIA?
Yeah.
You think the CIA is coming for black families?
You never know.
That part.
You never know.
CIA,
So,
stop. Just stop. We never going away.
Please stop saying them, because if they come to this front door, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
If they come to this front door, I'm gonna be like, "Hey, come in." I'm gonna offer them something to drink.
Hell no.
And we can have a conversation.
They're gonna. I'm gonna close the door respectfully. I don't even want to be around them. So I'm just saying, it's definitely bigger than what we think it is. So just be mindful in all those situations. But also, ladies, be able to say what you want and what you don't want and stand on it, because there's going to be somebody that's going to do what you say or, work with you. Also, before we switch topics real quick, I was going through Instagram,
if
right?
you want to work with me, I'll work with
you know who Onika is?
No.
Yes, you do. Tiny's daughter, the one that she had before with Tip.
Yeah. I know her. Mm-hmm.
So she opens up on someone's podcast. I forgot who it was, but shout out to who you are. I'm sorry, I don't want to steal your stuff or whatever. But she's basically saying that they were asking, like, what are some things that you were hurt by in the past, like as a result to like your parents.
Oh, Lord.
Her parents are
famous.
Mm-hmm. And she was just saying that she was hurt in the past by her mother, Tiny, because she always spent such a tremendous time with Tip. Like, she was just saying, she quotes and says, it's just like they rather go places with each other. So anytime he gotta go, she gotta go.
Oh, because she was with her man.
Yeah, so she was with her man. So
she had Zanique before. So Zanique is not Tip's daughter.
He's her stepdaughter.
Okay. And then because I remember watching their
that's still her dad, but this is her stepdad.
No, but I remember watching Tiny and Tip, right? What was it called? The Family Hustle.
Yeah, Family Hustle.
I remember watching the Family Hustle, and it kind of allude to the fact that Tiny's mother was kind of like raising her kids a lot, right? But I feel that would probably be the situation anyway, because Tiny was on the road and Tiny was a celebrity, right? So you date another celebrity, she kind of got Tip on, right? So she was probably watching her money, but I get it.
My take on it is, it's just because they've had like such a tumultuous relationship or marriage.
Oh, with the chicks and the guns and
everything that we've seen. I think that she just wanted to be around him so he wasn't doing bad things.
Oh, trying to get him away from the chicks?
Or he was around her so that they were, I don't know, but that's what it kind of alluded to.
How old was she? How old was she when Tiny had her? Was she young? I don't know.
Tiny had her at least in the 90s. She's at least like 2 years older than me.
Okay, so I could just imagine. I remember as a young woman before my frontal lobe developed and I had children, I was like leaving y'all in babysitters where, it wasn't all that great. You know what I'm saying? Not that it wasn't safe, but it wasn't so sanitary. But I wanted to be in the club bad, like, because I still was young and I wanted to hang out. So I feel like when you have children at a certain age and you're young, when you have children, you do make, mistakes. Yeah. And when you running behind dudes, like that's the thing. When I started, like when I got separated and divorced, I didn't really want to deal with any guys because I wanted to focus on trying to make you guys the best women that you could be, because I know having like such a tumultuous relationship when I was with my ex-husband, I knew that I kind of fucked y'all up, so I was trying to fix it. That part.
I appreciated that, like as like a mom. It's like I appreciate it, but then I felt like it's also like a disservice to you. We've had this conversation, but since it's camera, so we can have it again. But basically, like you always want your parents to find love and have and date and all those things. And I just wish that like maybe you would have dated or whatever, then maybe I would be able to like see like a different or a positive relationship in my in my visual, like at least in my own home. But then I also understand not wanting to have people around because what if it goes left?
Well, I didn't trust myself,
Okay.
right? So once I made all those decisions with your dad and not standing up for myself and not like being the person that I wanted to be and not finding my voice or whatever, and I allowed so many things to happen in my life, I didn't trust me. So being that I didn't trust me, I wasn't bringing nobody around because I was like, hell no, I don't want to be a situation where I continue this traumatic experience with you guys, not with your dad. Like that's like how many dudes? You know what I'm saying?
That's 100% facts, because they're like, I don't want to put any of my friends' business out there, but I have friends and
It's not on.
It's on. It's just making sure it's still charging.
No, that thing doesn't have a light to it.
But all the lights are on.
Okay, sorry about that.
So basically, like I've heard stories of like my friends tell me like, I wish that my mom never got with my stepdad just cause like it ain't no better. Like it ain't no better. It's just to say you have a man. Right. So I totally get that. So as in regards to Zanique, I was really like surprised that she even opened up to say something like that, because that's like clearly everybody's gonna see, everybody knows who she's talking about. But it just reminded me like, I feel like when she was saying it wasn't a dig to both of her parents. She's just saying like she wished that it was more about her than a man.
Yeah, but some women feel like it's not a family unless there's a man, a male component to it. And shout out to Tani, because I understand when you love somebody, you love somebody. You've been in love,
and they're still married, so like clearly it works for them.
And you've been in love, so you understand that sometimes that you just throw caution to the wind and you just do all kinds of things, and sometimes that's hurtful to your kids. But at a certain point, as an adult, what I've learned in order to free myself, because I got beef with my parents too. They've done things that I felt like they could have done better, whatever. But I feel like at a certain point in your life, everyone must start parenting yourself.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
I agree. And I always say this, excuse me, we got to start thinking about, so this is for anyone that has issues with their parents or anything like that. You got to start looking at your parents as people and not as your parents, because at the end of the day, these are people. So like you said, you had us when you were younger. So there is a difference in how you've parented Imani versus me. We're 6 years apart. You are two different you are at two different points of your life. So you have to be able to understand that and comprehend that. Just when I understand parents mess up and make situations harder for you. You feel like your parents should have protected you in this, or they shouldn't have, or just in any facet. Yeah. Just take your personal and your feelings about that when you were a kid and all those harboring, and just switch it and just see your mother or your father as a person. Once I started viewing my parents as people and exactly who they are, I swear to God, all those issues, they kind of went out the window, because I started to look at myself like, what if I was her, or what if I was him? And clearly they have their own relationships with their parents. It's just it's generational. And it just rolls over. So I feel like to get that hurt out, or whatever situations that you've had with your parents, you need to start viewing them as people. And I also feel like parents need to start viewing their children as people and not their children, because we have so many expectations for our kids and stuff. But it's like, think about it when you were my age, or
Yeah, it's true. Like I do have a hard time looking at my kids as adults and individuals, because there's good and bad in each individual, and there's certain things about you and Imani that I like, and there's certain things that I cannot stand. You know what I'm saying? And you just got to respect it and keep it moving, because at the end of the day, that's a human, and it's going to do what it's supposed to do for itself, no matter what. So, yeah.
As long as someone has good intentions, I feel like it's not a bad thing.
What you mean?
Like, as long as someone is not being malicious or like, I feel like if I had kids and I felt like if my kid was not being like a horrible person to individuals, not being the person that I raised them to be, it's like there's really nothing to say because people are gonna make mistakes or do different things. Yeah, as long as you're being a stand-up individual and you're not like being an a-hole or like just not treating people properly the way that I raised you, then I won't have a problem.
But what I'm saying is I feel like you have to start parenting yourself. So the things that you felt that you needed to get from your parents and you did not get them and you feel like I should have gotten them, you should start giving them to yourself.
Now.
Whatever that is, because if you don't take ownership of your person, what ends up happening is you just have a lifetime full of regret and blame. And regret, blame, and shame is the name of the game, and you don't really want that. You like for your life.
It gets old at a point if you just keep.
Yeah, it's like I didn't get this. I didn't get that.
My mom didn't do this.
Right.
Da, da, da. Like, girl, you're 50.
Right. There's time to not think about what your mom didn't do and give it to yourself.
Do it to you. Do it for yourself. Okay,
give it to yourself. Just mother yourself. If you didn't get it, give it to yourself. And if you feel like
mother or father yourself.
Yeah.
You know? Mm-hmm. And then try to not be those people for when you have kids or whatever. You know?
But you're going to make mistakes. Like
exactly.
that's the other piece. Like my mother beat me as a child and I was like, I would never beat my kids. And then I beat my kids. You know what I'm saying? So, and now that life has changed and this world has changed so much, like beating your kids was cool in the 90s. I don't understand how now it's a monster. And now I
just feel like it doesn't really work.
Well, it doesn't.
Because I feel like when I got beat as a kid, it just made me become more sneakier.
Yeah. So this is what happened, right? Because I used to beat my kids and I felt like they were just doing whatever they wanted to do. And I felt like life was going crazy. And then I read this book called 1, 2, 3 Magic. Do you remember that book?
Yes.
So shout out to 1, 2, 3 Magic. Max, insert that book here, right? So what that book taught me, that beating your kids was having an adult temper tantrum. And what was happening is you were just allowing the kids to take control of the situation because you couldn't reason with a 10-year-old. And so what happened with the 1, 2, 3 Magic? It was like have a meeting. So remember we used to have the family meetings?
Unfortunately.
Why would you roll your eyes about family meetings? We needed family meetings.
I hated family meetings.
Why?
Because it just was, I get it, but I was just like, oh God, why do you talk?
So family meetings we would go sit in the den and we would have family meetings and everybody would be able to tell what they needed to say. And then instead of me like flipping out, I would count. I would be like, so I would start counting to 10. And once I started counting, like they had to do certain things.
This is what she would do. Every time I'd catch an attitude or start being smart at the mouth or disrespectful, she'd be like, 1, 2, 3. And then she hit me after 3.
No, I would not hit you after 3.
Yes, you would.
No. So 1, 2, 3 Magic was not about hitting. So she's a fucking liar. Okay, so what was happening is once I started counting, she would start crying because she would get pissed off because I would have to take something from her that she wanted and she would not be able to get it back, right? So that's what 1, 2, 3 Magic was about. And that's what was happening.
That hand is getting real close.
No, that's what was happening because I was trying not to do the bust down on them. And so we were doing that and we were doing family meetings every week for a long time. But what was happening is Imani, my other daughter who's not here, Leo, shout out to Leo, she would always take the spotlight and make it all about her, right? So she would cry.
She's just a Leo.
She would do all these things and then we would be like it would just be a mess. But that's how I raised them. Like once I figured out that corporal punishment was not freaking working, and so I always was trying.
I feel like you learn when stuff gets taken away from you. I feel like that's how I learned as a kid. I didn't learn from getting beat.
Yeah. So after you get to 10, then you start taking things, and then you didn't give them back.
I realized my power for getting beat when I got beat by my dad and we didn't speak.
Yeah, but
and
I remember.
He apologized.
But I remember.
I was like, got him.
But I remember when he came over to like spank you or something. You were doing something, and you were like,
Me and Monty were fighting.
You were like, you don't get to hit me. I was like, this. I think I raised a monster because what happened was my kids went to gifted and talented schools, and they were around all these rich white kids, and those kids did not get beat. Those kids did what the hell they wanted to do, and then my kids started doing what the hell they wanted to do too, and they wanted to reason and they wanted to have all their express themselves.
Yeah,
and I didn't even know how to do
you
that.
Come to my house and beat me. You don't even live here. Like that was the craziest moment.
If you refused to speak to him. That was hilarious.
I didn't speak to him for like 6 months.
No.
Everybody was like, just talk to him. No.
The nerve of him.
Then he crawled back crying and apologizing. That's when I knew. I said, got him.
This is so sad. This is so sad.
So sad.
Parenting is hard work, and if you have the opportunity to swallow your kids, you should. You should just swallow, because at the end of the day, you have to pay for tuition. You have to manage emotions that you don't even have under control for your own self, and then you have to manage them outside of your body, and then it's like your heartbeats are just walking around doing shit, saying crazy stuff to you, and you just got to deal with it. It's a lot.
Okay.
I mean, you can have kids if you want to, but I'm just saying.
I want kids. I want about like 4 kids or whatever. But every time I tell
You
people
want
I want
4 kids,
they do.
Who's watching 4 kids? Not me. Listen, let me tell you something. I'll be the grandmother to the first 2, but I'm not dealing with 4 kids. That's a lot of kids. 4 kids. What are you doing with 4 kids? Why?
I want a big family.
Why? Why?
I just want brown babies. Just 4 of them. I know that's a lot.
Don't think that I'm gonna just be taking care of 4
everybody
kids.
that
That's
tell us say they want 4 kids, they're like, you cannot afford 4 kids, and I'm like, I don't think I can afford it either. But that's what I'm saying. I don't really know if I'm like super rich. Well, when I'm super rich and have like an amazing house and like all these things, I swear to God, I'm having 4 kids. 2 via me, 2 via surrogate, because we ain't doing all 4 out of one.
You think regular people have surrogates? Who you think you are, Kim Kardashian?
That's when I'm rich.
So why have a surrogate? Why?
Because I don't want to do all 4 by myself.
Just have 2 twins. You know you can make yourself have twins.
Twice?
Yeah,
you can make yourself have twins. How?
Yeah, all the things. Now you get all the things. So you just go to a doctor and tell them what you want.
I don't want.
You don't want in vitro.
Twins.
Why?
So they could just be bullying me.
No, just have the twins. Like just have 2 sets of twins. Just get it done.
And they're not gonna look right because I'm gonna make them twins. No, I'd rather just have 4 separate.
4 times you want to get pregnant. 4 times.
No, I want to get pregnant twice and then have somebody else take the 2.
So, but you're probably not gonna love those kids the same. You think
What?
that Kim Kardashian loves those other kids?
Yes, they're her
those
babies.
East,
they look
West.
just like her.
They do.
Yeah.
But she acts like, but her and North got this special bond.
What you mean?
I'm just saying.
That's our firstborn.
I'm not saying that she don't love those other kids, but I'm just saying.
I think she's trying to be funny right now.
I'm gonna just be quiet.
You have to love all your kids. What?
But I mean, if somebody else had them in their belly, I mean, I guess you love them.
But that's your egg. Someone is just holding it.
If I had eggs in the refrigerator, right, and I went and gave it to my neighbor.
So if you had another baby, right? Just quick, if you had another baby,
that would be a miracle.
And it was a surrogate. You wouldn't love the baby.
I mean, I would love the baby, but I think
you wouldn't love him how you love me and Imani.
I think I love y'all more.
And we're gonna end right here because I don't even want to continue this conversation anymore.
Saying, maybe I wouldn't, but I think because it's kind of like. But I've never dated anybody that I like had to like love their kids and stuff.
We're not talking about love. We're talking about
it's the same thing. It's not my
It's not
kid.
a stepchild. It's your child. It's your egg.
That's what they told me is my egg. Like I'm just saying. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? They do a lot of crazy shit. Okay. I'm just saying.
Our producer has to leave because we were late today, but either way, we'll be back with another episode next week because I can't continue this conversation with her. All right. Love you guys. Bye.
I'm just saying, think about it.